Hello,
赵爽。
everyone. I'm ZHAO Chuang. Today, let's meet Yuanlin the Guanlingsaurus, a peculiar ichthyosaur. I first heard about this creature around 2008 when CCTV aired a special program, presenting it as a new discovery and a mysterious species. Over time, more findings have confirmed that it is a truly remarkable and enigmatic animal. Several well-preserved specimens have been found so far, which have helped us gain a clearer understanding of this creature. When this animal was first discovered, people immediately noticed some of its unique characteristics. It had an elongated body and a small head. However, the earliest fossils were incomplete, leading to some debate over its classification. Later, some scholars suggested it closely resembled the Shastasaurus from North America. For a time, it was reassigned to the genus Shastasaurus, with its name changing from Guanlingsaurus liang to Shastasaurus liang. As more fossils are unearthed, several features have distinguished it from Shastasaurus, particularly in skull structure. So now, it is still recognized as a separate genus. The feature that most easily causes people to misinterpret Guanlingsaurus for Shastasaurus is its extremely slender, snake-like body, which is also a common trait of this group. People used to reconstruct Shastasaurus as a stocky animal, but we now know these creatures were all quite elongated. Although Guanlingsaurus is not a species of Shastasaurus, the two are still related. Let's first look at its limbs. Its four flippers were all elongated. Several complete skeletons show it had giant flippers. As an early ichthyosaur, both its forelimbs and hind limbs were pretty long. Some advanced ichthyosaurs, such as the well-known Ophthalmosaurus from the Jurassic, typically had longer and larger front flippers, and shorter hind flippers, which were well adapted for swimming. But as a primitive ichthyosaur species from the Triassic ZHAO Ocean, Guanlingsaurus had forelimbs and hind limbs of nearly equal length. Then, let's focus on the key part of this model, the head. Guanlingsaurus' head is notably short and has several unique features. From the top, the back of the head is broad, while the front forms a triangle with an extremely short snout. Although the current fossils do not include the very tip of the snout, the gradually tapering shape indicates it was likely very short. The skull's back is broad, and the eye sockets are huge. However, large eye sockets do not mean large eyes. In ichthyosaurs, eye size can be inferred from sclerotic rings. Its eyes were actually quite small, about this big. The large eye sockets were mainly filled with muscles and the entire eyeball. Only the hollow, central part inside the sclerotic ring was visible, which made the eyes appear smaller during life. Its nostrils are located roughly in the middle of the snout, and while alive, they might have protruded slightly due to soft tissues, aiding in surfacing to breathe. Another distinctive feature is that it was toothless. Although the model was reconstructed with a closed mouth, you can still see that its jaws appear very straight. I made the mouth of this model beak-like, suggesting it likely fed on small prey, or might have had a sharp-edged structure for catching fish. Some researchers speculate it might have filter-fed like some whales, with baleen-like structures, but no fossil evidence supports this, so the exact oral structure remains unknown. Therefore, we reconstructed its mouth as closed. Another hidden detail is that it had a very short tongue, which is believed to be unsuitable for suction feeding, as this action typically involves tongue and hyoid movement. Instead, its tongue was probably more like a crocodile's, fixed to the bottom of the mouth and immobile. Next, let's look at its body. Its limbs were almost of equal length. Whether it had a dorsal fin is highly debated, as researchers long believed that early ichthyosaurs lacked dorsal fins. These creatures were cumbersome and slow swimmers, so they might not have needed a dorsal fin. However, the discovery of a Mixosaurus specimen, another early ichthyosaur from the Triassic period, around the same time as Guanlingsaurus, changed this view. Skin impressions of this Mixosaurus showed a well-developed dorsal fin on its back. This finding gives us reason to believe that dorsal fins may have evolved at a pretty early stage in the ichthyosaur family. Therefore, we included a dorsal fin in this Guanlingsaurus model, which also made it look more balanced. Then, let's move to the tail. Initially, researchers believed early ichthyosaurs had eel-like tails and hadn't developed fish-like tails. However, recent studies suggest they already had well-developed crescent tails. These tails were similar in structure to those of some sharks. Specifically, they were heterocycle rather than hemicycle. A hemicycle tail is symmetrical with equal lobes, while a heterocycle tail is asymmetrical. Sharks typically have longer upper lobes. Another noteworthy feature is its skin. Many Guanlingsaurus specimens have been discovered, ranging from juveniles about 3 meters long to fully grown adults over 9 meters. One well-preserved specimen shows a possible skin impression, or perhaps fossilized skin or fatty tissue, on its back. However, this identification is tentative, and researchers have not yet provided detailed descriptions. If confirmed as skin remains, it could offer insights into its epidermal texture. The surface of the specimen displays numerous fine, irregular cracks or tiny wrinkles, all quite small. Of course, it could be just a layer of rock over the fossil, but since it was discovered as a fossil, we included this texture in our reconstruction as a reference, albeit on a minor scale. Many other ichthyosaurs have skin fossils that tend to be smooth with fine textures, similar to dolphins, which appear smoother than the wrinkled, supposed skin fossil of Guanlingsaurus. Therefore, based on the typical appearance of ichthyosaurs, we reconstructed its body with a muscular, plump, and smooth surface, and incorporated subtle granular and wrinkly textures. Upon closer inspection, you can notice this texture, especially on the flippers. This, in a way, reflects the possible skin impression. We hope future research will provide a more definitive analysis of this possible skin imprint. Good. This concludes our introduction to Guanlingsaurus. Thank you.